Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a time when wisdom wasn't exclusively found in, the grand academies of Athens or these bustling philosophical schools.
Right.
Picture it emerging instead from the windswept steppes, from someone in the civilized world. And by that, the ancient Greeks just meant anyone not Greek basically would casually dismiss as a barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truly fascinating journey we're about to embark on today.
Precisely. Today, our deep dive introduces you to Anacharsis. He was a Scythian prince born around the 6th century BCE who became, well, quite remarkably, known as the Barbarian Philosopher.
The Barbarian Philosopher, I like that.
Yeah. So our mission is to explore his captivating life, his incredibly sharp and practical teachings, and how his enduring legacy still challenges us, to think differently.
Okay.
We'll uncover how his outsider's perspective offered this unique, almost piercing clarity to the ancient Greeks, and why that viewpoint is still so strikingly relevant for you today in your own world.
Anacharsis wasn't just some forgotten footnote, was he? He sounds like a phenomenon. Born into the nomadic culture of the Scythians.
Right, renowned horseman, warrior.
Exactly. But often viewed with suspicion, maybe even disdain, by the more settled Greeks. Yet this prince possessed this, insatiable curiosity, a drive that just transcended tribal boundaries and propelled him to travel, to learn, to observe. What an undertaking for someone from his background.
It really was an extraordinary undertaking, and it's vital to grasp the cultural chasm he was bridging. The Scythians were a formidable and distinct people.
A completely different world.
Totally. Their entire way of life, customs, beliefs, vastly different from the Hellenic city-states. Imagine the culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
The sheer audacity for a Scythian prince to journey into this foreign world, not as a conqueror, but as an inquirer, seeking knowledge.
Just seeking knowledge.
And sources suggest he wasn't just observing, he was immersing himself, getting into philosophical debates, intellectual discussions.
Really engaging.
Totally. One of the most intriguing accounts even claims he befriended Solon.
Solon, the great Athenian lawgiver.
The very one, a towering figure in Greek history. And this wasn't just a casual acquaintance. It suggests a deep respect, an intellectual kinship between two vastly different men.
Wow. So he arrives, this Scythian prince, and he's not just blending in, he's actively engaging, even challenging them. And his direct, often blunt wisdom coming from this, unexpected source must have been quite a jolt for the Greeks.
Definitely a jolt.
It impressed them, sure, but I can imagine it also at times just downright shocked them. He wasn't afraid to speak an uncomfortable truth, was he?
Not at all. His lack of pretense, combined with his unique perspective as someone unbound by Greek norms, it gave his observations this piercing quality.
Like he could see things they couldn't.
Exactly. He wasn't trying to fit in. He was genuinely analyzing. And that's why the ending of his story, whether it's fully historical or maybe more of a cautionary myth, carries such weight.
What happened?
Well, upon his return home, the tale goes that he was killed by his own people.
No, why?
The reason? He was accused of betraying Scythian traditions by embracing foreign Greek ways, particularly their religious practices.
It's a stark, almost heartbreaking narrative, isn't it? This brilliant mind ostracized and then tragically eliminated by the very community he belonged to.
It truly is. And this personal tragedy, whatever its precise historical truth, connects to such a profound and timeless theme. It reverberates through history and, I'd argue, into our lives today.
Yeah, so.
It vividly illustrates that constant tension between tradition and innovation, right? The struggle between maintaining one's identity and being open to new ideas.
Belonging versus exile.
Exactly. And the deep-seated human need for belonging versus that pull of intellectual curiosity. It makes you wonder how many people throughout history, or even right now, have faced that impossible choice between their roots and their convictions.
That's a heavy thought. And here's where it truly becomes fascinating for me. What's remarkable is that Anacharsis himself left no written works.
Right, nothing directly from him.
We don't have his books or anything. All his wisdom came through others, through anecdotes, recorded sayings. Yet his formidable reputation and his pointed observations lived on in Greek memory, cementing his place as this powerful symbol of practical wisdom, a champion of simplicity, and a truly sharp critic of excess.
Yeah, the fact that his words were worth remembering and retelling, even without his own pen involved, speaks volumes about their impact.
Absolutely.
And a core pillar of his philosophy really revolved around simplicity over luxury. He openly, and apparently quite vocally, mocked the Greek obsession with wealth.
He wasn't subtle about it.
Not really. Their elaborate luxuries, what he saw as overly complicated customs, social rituals, he just wasn't buying it. For Anacharsis, the good life wasn't about piling up possessions or following some intricate social code.
He saw through it.
He saw through it all with remarkable clarity.
That's a bold stance for someone visiting one of the most sophisticated cultures of the ancient world.
Yeah.
If Anacharsis were to walk through, say, a modern shopping mall or scroll through an Instagram feed today,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
what do you think would genuinely shock him the most? And why might that be a profound lesson for us? He seems to have believed the good life was rooted in clarity, moderation, freedom, not stuff.
I imagine he'd be, well, aghast at the sheer volume of things and the endless pursuit of them, often just for status, not real need.
Right.
He valued seeing things as they truly are, being unburdened by material desires and the superficiality they often bring. That foreign status, that outsider sharp eye was his greatest asset.
Definitely. Yeah.
It allowed him to observe Greek contradictions with this unique, almost brutal clarity because he wasn't immersed in their cultural blind spots. He hadn't grown up just accepting these things as normal.
And he certainly didn't pull any punches, did he? His famous observation, it rings just as true today. In Greece, wise men speak and fools decide.
Ouch. Yeah, ouch is right. But it's more than just a cynical quip. It's a profound critique, especially coming from someone observing the birthplace of democracy.
So he wasn't anti-democracy.
Not necessarily dismissing democracy itself, I think, but he was challenging its vulnerability. This tendency to place critical decision-making in the hands of the masses, sometimes without the necessary wisdom or foresight, or even just careful thought. It prompts us to consider the value of real expertise and reasoned argument in how we govern ourselves. And it makes you ask, who truly decides in our world today? In our governments, our companies, our communities, and on what basis? Are we always listening to the wise voices or the others?
That's a powerful point. And it leads us to another aspect of his wisdom, his profound value for integrity and genuine friendship. He saw these as far more important than power or status.
Absolutely. These were bedrock values for him. He articulated this with another key, saying, "Wise men argue causes, fools decide them."
Similar theme there.
Very similar. But again, this isn't just fatalism or cynicism. It's more like a powerful call for careful thought, for honesty and deliberation, and for making sure that actual wisdom guides leadership and public discussion.
So the process matters.
Immensely. It suggests that the meticulous process of reasoned argument, of really understanding the nuances, is fundamentally more valuable than a hasty, uninformed, or maybe emotionally charged decision. He was championing thoughtful debate itself.
And his observations went even further, didn't they? To the very framework of society, law, and custom. He was quick to point out a fundamental flaw.
What was that?
That laws are often made, but they aren't always followed. Especially not by those in power.
Ah, yes, the classic critique. And he captured this inherent inequality with the truly powerful, enduring analogy. Anacharsis famously said, laws are like spider webs.
Oh, I know this one.
Right. They catch the weak and poor, but the rich and powerful break through them.
Such a stark image. And yeah, unfortunately, it feels just as relevant today as it must have 2,500 years ago.
Depressingly so, sometimes. This insight really encourages you to think about its modern implications. Where do you see this dynamic playing out? In our societies, maybe even in smaller groups or organizations, are we still building legislative spiderwebs that only seem to ensnare some?
It's a really challenging question. What's remarkable about Anacharsis, though, is that unlike maybe some philosophers getting lost in abstract speculation, his philosophy was incredibly practical, grounded.
Absolutely. His focus was entirely on fundamentals. He taught the importance of honesty, plain and simple, simplicity in how you live, courage to stand by your convictions.
And perspective.
Then perspective, yes, to see through illusions. His philosophy wasn't about building these elaborate metaphysical systems or grand theories. It was about living well, navigating the world with integrity, and just developing the capacity to see through the superficial stuff that so often clouds our judgment.
It's a profoundly grounded approach. Accessible, really.
Very much so.
It's incredible to think that despite his nomadic origins, his initial label as a barbarian, and that tragic end, Anacharsis became almost mythical in Greek culture. He emerged as this potent symbol of the noble barbarian.
Right, and that symbolizes something truly profound. A powerful reminder that wisdom isn't, and never has been, confined to specific cities or grand academies or particular
It can
nations.
pop up anywhere.
It can emerge from anywhere, from anyone, especially from those who stand outside the established norms. It's incredibly telling that he was even included among the so-called seven sages of Greece, by some accounts.
Yearly, among the seven sages.
By some lists, yes. That's a revered group of early philosophers and statesmen, famous for their practical wisdom. His inclusion there, even if debated, truly reflects the immense respect and admiration he earned, even from those who might have initially just dismissed him as an outsider.
Wow. And his sharp, memorable sayings clearly continue to influence thinkers throughout antiquity. It shows the enduring power of his direct, no-nonsense insights. His words resonated far beyond his lifetime.
Absolutely. His critiques of law, politics, the endless pursuit of wealth, they still resonate deeply today, precisely because they touch upon fundamental human tendencies and societal structures that, well, despite all our tech and progress, haven't changed all that much over millennia.
We're still wrestling with the same basic questions.
We really are, still grappling with power, justice, and just how to live a good life.
So after this deep dive, let's bring it home. What does all this mean for you right now? What are the truly impactful lessons we can draw from Anacharsis in our incredibly complex modern world?
Well, I think first, his story teaches us that profound wisdom can indeed come from the most unexpected places. It directly challenges our often ingrained preconceptions about where truth resides or who's truly capable of deep insight.
So be open to different voices.
Exactly. It's a powerful call to be open to voices from outside the established norms, maybe to listen to the barbarians of our own time, whoever they might be.
And his example shows us that questioning luxury, questioning power, critically examining the very structures of law, it isn't just an act of rebellion, is it?
No, not just rebellion. It's fundamental. It's an essential way to seek out justice and to uncover deeper, sometimes uncomfortable truths about how our societies actually function. It's a call for persistent, honest scrutiny.
Keep asking questions.
Keep asking questions. And it powerfully reinforces the idea that being an outsider can offer a unique, invaluable clarity. It helps us see through the illusions, the accepted superficialities, the unspoken biases in our own lives and societies.
Like developing that Scythian eye.
Yes, developing that critical distance, that Scythian eye, to truly discern what matters.
So in essence, Anacharsis' core teaching for us today, if we boil it down, is maybe strive to live simply, speak honestly, value genuine connection over superficial status, and always, always challenge those structures that inherently favor the powerful over the weak.
I think that sums it up well. If you look at his unwavering critiques, his insistence on truth and simplicity, his willingness to speak truth to power from this unconventional position, Anacharsis was, in many ways, one of history's very first great social critics.
A pioneer.
A real pioneer. He set a timeless precedent for looking beyond the surface.
And that's our deep dive into Anacharsis, the Scythian sage, whose insights are truly timeless, transcending cultures and centuries to speak to us directly about what it means to live wisely.
Which brings us to a compelling question for you, the listener. In your own world, where do you observe structures, maybe subtle, maybe overt, that seem to favor the powerful over the weak? And what fresh clarity might an outsider's eye bring if you were to genuinely look at them anew?